Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to Remember 11 Age of Infinity. Now, you may remember in the last episode we got a big ending which had that text at the end that said about the infinity loop in that, and because of that I assumed it wasn't the proper ending, but apparently it is. So, to get more context, we are going to be running through the game speedrun style, getting all the bad endings that we can. I'll be skipping huge amounts. I'll just be jumping back in for the endings. We want to get all the bad endings I can. I've got a guide to get every bad ending in the game for more context. I know I got a couple in my first playthrough, but not that many. I think, from what I understand, Satoru's one will give me more understanding than Kokoro's ones, but we shall see. Unfortunately, even though it does say in the system settings that there is an option for the skip button to only skip what we've already read and stop skipping when it's something new, like a Renpo game, it doesn't seem to work. It just skips forever until you stop skipping. So that's going to make it a little bit difficult, but expect lots of cuts, jumping around. We're going to jump into Kokoro's route to start. I've got day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, all those ready to roll. I'll be back with the first bad ending. Okay, we are finally at the first choice that's going to bring us to a bad ending. Not taking the pills that Utsumi gave us. I decided not to take them. It's not so bad that I won't be able to make it without relying on drugs. Being this tired, I should be able to fall asleep right away. I placed the package of medicine back in my pocket as it was. Alright, I skipped ahead because after making that choice, it takes 50 million years for the consequences to come out, so we are now at the consequences of not taking the pills, I believe. When I came to my senses, I was engulfed in darkness. I couldn't see anything, I couldn't hear anything, I couldn't smell anything, I couldn't feel anything. Hey, what? I couldn't make a sound. Even my voice was gone. I found myself in a darkness so total, it was as if an even further blackness had been enfolded into the dark of night. I had no sense of up or down. I didn't know whether I was facing upwards, downwards, or even if I was awake or asleep. Nothing was touching me. It was as if I was floating in zero gravity. I couldn't feel the clothes I was wearing. I couldn't move my limbs. I didn't know where my arms and legs were. I wasn't hot, nor was it cold. I couldn't feel the air around me at all. I wasn't breathing. I couldn't feel my heart beating. Huh? What is this? What is this? What is this? What in the world is going on? What has happened to my body? What has happened to me? What happened? Is there anyone here? Anyone? Anyone? Please, someone answer me. Answer me. Tell me. Answer me. The darkness in front of me suddenly vanished and my field of vision was enveloped in light. A floating feeling. What an incredible sensation. Even though I shouldn't be able to feel anything, I can sense my body floating, floating, floating. It feels so pleasant. Such a safe, relaxing sensation. It's the first time I felt this way. Whatever, that doesn't matter anymore. Let's just leave everything as it is now. And just then, I caught a glimpse of it for only a moment. No, to be more exact, the body that I entered. Satoru's body. Satoru's body was floating, face down in the bathtub, his upper half submerged in water. His body wasn't moving at all. Satoru was dead. And so am I. I see. I understood it all now. Back then, I'd felt there was someone behind me in that bathroom wrapped in darkness. So I must have killed Satoru after that. Killed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Satoru. This all happened because I wasn't careful. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I have to apologize to you later. I'm coming to apologize to you now, so please, forgive me. Without shedding a tear or letting out a single sob, I cried. And cried and cried and cried. And before long, my world faded away. And that's it. That's our first bad ending. Excellent. That really didn't help at all. But I wasn't expecting much so early on. I'll bring you back for the next one. Alright, we are finally back. It turns out some of these require a lot of very specific choices all the way through the fucking game. So I gotta restart the game and just skip through the whole game making specific choices. This one is called Annihilation, Mayuzumi. So I guess that means something. So we're on day 4 and we should have made all the choices required to get that ending. So, fingers crossed. It took about 7 endings in over the first 4 days. 7 choices, sorry. Anyway, let's see what happens. When I heard that scream, I asked Yuni why he'd run away. Let's go back to the cabin, Kokoro. Hey Yuni, just now, why'd you come running out here? Won't you tell me the reason? That's because Tobalin was picking on me. If she wanted food, she should have just listened. And Mayuzumi started to get a big head over being entrusted with the management of our food supply. When I think about it, I get the feeling that I was naive in thinking a selfish girl like her would be responsible enough to do it. Sorry. Let's go back to the cabin. Yeah, following the trail of footprints we left, we head back toward the cabin. What I saw when we returned to the shelter cabin took my breath away. A dreadful scene had unfolded there. Oh my god. Yomogi-san lay where he had fallen on the floor, covered in blood. There were countless deep gashes in his back. Yomogi-san. Oh, you've come back. I wonder where you two had gone. She slowly made her way toward me. From somewhere I could hear a metallic clanking sound that grated on my nerves. She was dragging along an axe. An axe wet with blood. What did you do to Yomogi-san? That guy, he kept talking about how we should divide up the food. So I killed him. But why? Trying to hold back the fear rising in me, I continued. Mayuzumi-san, didn't we say that we were going to divide up the food equally among everyone? You're right. But I realized something. In a cold place like this, you use up a lot of calories. With only this little food, if we divide it among 4 people, none of us will survive. And in the first place, why should I have to share the provisions I took for myself with everyone? Mayuzumi took out a bar of chocolate and began munching away at it. She smiled at the flavour of it. Yummy. This belongs to me. There's no way I'll let it be divided up. See, I want to live. There are people waiting for me. I can't imagine that. With chocolate stains all around her mouth, Mayuzumi slowly came closer, dragging her axe with her. You... Taking a step back, I thrust an accusing finger at Mayuzumi. You've lost it. A thin smile rose to her face, but Mayuzumi's eyes were furious. She raised the axe over her head. I'm perfectly sane. I immediately dodged, but just as I did... Hey, what happened? Kokoro. Yuni, who had fallen behind me, entered the cabin. Don't come in here! Mayuzumi turned to Yuni and swung the axe down. I embraced him to protect him. In my back there was a burning sensation as though metal prongs had entered it. A continuously aching, intense pain, vertigo, the urge to vomit. If you die, it'll help me out. Sorry. 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 Kokoro! Well, we're not going to survive that many axe strikes, are we? As I listened to Yuni's voice, I sunk into a deep darkness. Kokoro! I had only one wish. If only Yuni could be saved. Man, I had to go out of my way to get that ending, and that sucked. But it proved to me just how shitty Mayuzumi is. God, I hate that lady. Anyway, I'll wrap it up and I'll bring you back for the next one. Alright, we are back with what is another ending that takes huge amounts of specific choices throughout the entire game. Let's see what happens. Let Yomogi handle it. Yomogi folded his arms motionlessly, gazing at the hole that leads down to the storeroom. And the hell that is this shelter cabin has become. His calm attitude made him seem truly composed, even though she had wasted all our rations, forcing us to the brink of death. I couldn't help but feel sorry for Mayuzumi as she received her punishment. Please let her out of there quickly, I wanted to say. But seeing the calm Yomogi, I swallowed those words. Though the punishment that he decided on for her could be considered cruel, surely Yomogi's usual deep thought had gone into it. I decided to wait without interfering. How much time has passed since then? No matter how many long hours passed, Yomogi didn't show even the slightest sign of movement. He did nothing but gaze steadily at the hole leading to the storeroom. I hadn't heard Mayuzumi's voice for quite a while now. No, not just her voice, not even a single sound or cough. Kokoro? Yuni pulled at my sleeve, looking worried. Frightened, I too hesitantly called out to Yomogi. Yomogi-san? What's wrong? Yomogi answered with a small smile. Feeling more or less relieved at the sight of his smiling face, I asked him, won't you forgive Mayuzumi-san? Still smiling, Yomogi shook his head. What are you saying? She destroyed the harmony we had here, and in doing so she put the whole party in jeopardy. She's got to receive about this much retribution. But it's been hours already. And? He leisurely asked again. What is he saying? Didn't Yomogi tell us many times about the dangers of the cold? You must understand that if this goes on, Mayuzumi will be in danger. Then Yuni, who had peered into the hole, cried out, "Oh no, Lin, she's collapsed." I too rushed over. I looked down into the storeroom. Mayuzumi had fallen senseless, reclining against the wall. Her face was colourless, drained of blood. She didn't so much as stir. "Mayuzumi-san?" I grabbed the unfastened ladder, leaning against the wall. "Hey!" Yomogi grabbed that hand. "Ow!" Gripped so strongly it hurt. A scream slipped out of me. "What are you doing?" "What am I doing? Isn't it obvious?" "I'll go check on Mayuzumi." "Why?" "Because she's fainted dead away." "What have you done, Yomogi-san?" I shook off his hand and lowered the ladder into the basement. I flew down the ladder. "Mayuzumi-san?" I ran up to Mayuzumi, who was leaning unconscious against the wall. "Mayuzumi-san?" She was slumped there with her eyes open. She wasn't even blinking. Her eyelashes, no, it seemed that a faint layer of ice had formed over her eyeballs. Her face was disturbingly pale. I slowly reached out to her and tried to touch her face. Cold. I instinctively pulled away my hand from that freezing cold. Yuni timidly approached. "Is Lin dead?" "It can't be. It can't." I tried shaking her bodily. Her clothes were completely frozen because she was thrown in here. With snow still on her clothes, she froze. "Mayuzumi-san? Mayuzumi-san?" She's not reacting at all. When I stop shaking her, her body feebly collapses. "No way. She's dead." His lips trembling, Yuni checked her pulse. Her heart isn't beating. "Lin is dead." At that moment, a voice came from above. "She's dead, huh?" The nonchalant voice of Yomogi. "Lin's dead, huh? Yomogi-san?" Yomogi shook the ladder. "Is he going to pull it up? Is he going to trap us down here too?" Well, so I thought, but I was wrong. "Hurry and get up here. I'll hold the ladder steady for you." "Yes." Yomogi, holding the ladder above the hole, patiently looked down at us. Even though someone had just died, Yomogi was smiling. That smile was radiated from a stubble-darkened face. Yuni clutched at my hand. Without even looking at him, I could tell that he's trembling. "Let's go back up." "Yeah." We climbed up the ladder that Yomogi held in place. "Come on, take my hand." Holding onto the hand Yomogi stretched out. It was very frightening. "It's freezing down in there, huh?" Yomogi, his face serious, laid a blanket over me. Normally it's warmer underground, but in this cabin it's cooler down there for some reason. There might be a hole for air intake down there somewhere. That's probably letting the wind in. Why... Why did you put Mayuzumi down in such dangerous... I already told you that, right? Her very existence is destroying our harmony. Or at least, it was. Yomogi made a point of correcting himself. Any dangerous element must be isolated. Mayuzumi's clothes were drenched from the snow. Dressed like that, your body freezes immediately. That's right. You know? I know. But even if I'd told her, do you think Mayuzumi would have listened to what I say? Like he was telling me some hilarious joke, Yomogi grinned. That smile sent chills through me. This guy confined Mayuzumi in the basement with the intention of killing her? I gulped. Because of the tension, my throat dried up. My limbs stiffened. "Now then, Yuni? Fuyukawa-san?" When he heard his name, Yuni's eyes opened wide. "What?" Yomogi pointed at the beds. Putting his hands on Yuni's shoulders, he smiled. "Stay close to each other. It'll keep your temperature from dropping. In order to survive, listen to what I say. Listen to what I say." "Yeah." Yuni pulled on my sleeve and headed for the bed. It was clear that Yuni was shaking, not from the cold, but in terror. We lay down on the bed together and wrapped ourselves in the blankets. Yuni whispered to me, his voice so soft it was almost inaudible. "Kokoro? What happened to Seiji?" "I'm scared. I'm really scared." I was scared of him too. His smiling face, his steady eyes, his calm voice, his strong arms like tree trunks. I was scared of everything now. I held Yuni's hand tightly. "Calm down. It's alright. It's alright." I desperately endured the hours of tension that was squeezing in my heart. Meanwhile, Yomogi toyed with his large knife. While gazing at the coldly shining blade, he continued muttering, "I have to keep it together. I won't let anyone die anymore. I won't let anyone be killed. I don't want to have any regrets. As long as I'm with you, you're safe. Junichi, I'll definitely." His muttering continued incessantly. Those words filled the cabin like a curse lingering in my ears. Enough. I put my hands over my ears. I felt like listening to a confession of love from a stalker. "I don't want to hear. It's driving me crazy." Then Yuni pulled at my sleeve. "Hey Kokoro, I'm thirsty. Can I have some of your water?" Yuni clasped his hands almost apologetically. His adorable gesture calmed my mind. "I'm glad Yuni's here with me," I thought from the bottom of my heart. I passed him the PET bottle wrapped in the blankets with us. There isn't much left, is there? Since I'd hardly eaten, I'd drunk quite a lot of water. There was no more than a single mouthful left. You can have it. But it's fine. I'll drink mine. There's some ice in it though. But just a little. Yuni took the PET bottle before lying on his bed and pulled it toward him. There was a little ice inside. We could melt it by holding it between our bodies, but out of fear that it would steal away our body heat, we left it as it was. It was frozen fairly solidly, and a thick sheet of ice like the surface of a skating rink overlaid the water. Yuni broke the ice across the bottle. A sound rang out, sending ice floating to the surface of the bottle like icebergs. Here goes. A sweet smile rising to his face, Yuni drank the water in loud gulps. That was the last smile of Yuni's I ever saw. Hey! Thrusting the knife into the floor, Yomogi turned and advanced toward us with broad strides. Yuni let go of the bottle and, frightened, clung to me. What's wrong? What do you think is wrong? Yomogi grabbed Yuni by the nape of the neck. Yuni resisted by clinging to my chest, but it was easily pulled away from him by Yomogi's unbelievable strength. Please stop. Deaf to my pleas, Yomogi lifted Yuni up in the air. Yuni's face distorted in anguish. It hurts. Stop it. Hey Yuni, didn't I tell you? Don't drink ice water. If you do, it'll lower your body temperature. Don't you know you'll die then? Why won't you listen to me? But... You talking back? Yomogi put his hands around Yuni's neck and starts to squeeze. Stop, Yomogi-san, stop! I warned him. We'll be careful. So please stop. I flew at Yomogi. I grabbed onto his arms and tried to shake them, but he was unfazed. The grip of his hands strangling Yuni. It just grows stronger and stronger. Why won't you listen to me? Even though I said it was for your own sake. Stop it, please stop it. Yuni's dying. The colour of blood suddenly spread in Yuni's eyes. From the corner of his mouth, saliva drips out. Those who try to destroy our harmony must be isolated. Too bad. It's too bad. Yuni's slender neck breaks. His struggling arms and legs fall limp. A stain spreads on his pants. No. Yuni's dead. He was killed by Yomogi. No. Yomogi threw Yuni onto the bed, like throwing away an object. Then he turned to me with a smile, a very kind and fatherly smile. With this, those who broke the harmony are gone. It's alright now, Junichi. No, I'm not Junichi. Yomogi-san, you've gone crazy. You're just saying that because you're afraid to be hospitalized, but Daddy's here with you today. Don't worry. Now let's get back to bed. Yomogi seized my shoulders in a vice grip. He pushed me onto the bed, then he covered me up with the blankets. At my wit's end, I crouched down and held my knees. Yomogi looked at me in satisfaction, then sat down by the wall. Once more playing with the knife, he resumed muttering, I won't let anyone die anymore. I won't let anyone die anymore. Yeah, I get it. That murmuring that seemed capable of continuing forever filled the shelter cabin. I won't let anyone die anymore. Yeah, I get it. In the storeroom, cold as ice, lies the body of Mayuzumi. In the next bed, his neck cruelly broken, is the corpse of Yuni. Inside the cold shelter cabin, together with the man who killed 2 people, together with the cold, I was wrapped in words that resounded like a curse. I'll be killed. If I stay here, I'll be killed too. Just like the other 2, I'll be killed by Yomogi. Abruptly, the muttering stopped. Slowly, Yomogi turned until he was looking this way. It's cold, huh? Smiled. It's gotten colder. He stood up. Swaying like a ghost, he drew near. Fuyukawa-san, let's warm each other up. In order to survive, listen to what I say. Listen to what I say. Yomogi took one step closer, then another. No. I threw off the blankets and flew out of the bed. I rushed to the door of the shelter cabin. I threw myself against the door and it burst open. There was a blizzard outside. The driving snow pierced right through me as it struck me. Wait! Yomogi approaches. If he catches me, he'll kill me. I rushed out into the snowstorm. I ran for my life, almost falling in the rising snow. Wait! Yomogi chases after me. No! Stay away! Stay away! I advanced through the snow, crying. From the terror, tears overflowing from my eyes. The drops flowing on my face, freezing in a flash. The striking snow hurts. My arms and legs chill. Paying it no mind, I continue to advance in the storm. How far have I run? I fall over. A warmth like spring engulfs me. I slowly lose consciousness. Okay, wow, that was intense. Jesus Christ. Alright, it's going to take a while to get to the next one, so I'll be right back. I mean, it'll be fast for you. And now. Okay, it's time for the next one, and this is going to be another crazy one. Mayuzumi, once again, has an axe in her possession. Push Mayuzumi away. Making up my mind to stop Mayuzumi, I put my strength into my frozen feet. Throwing all my body weight forward, I sprang at her. She swung the axe, grazing my shoulder and cutting through the air. Taking the body blow, Mayuzumi staggered and fell. I too rolled on the floor, entangling with her. Fuyukawa-san! I see Yomogi running toward us out of the corner of my eye. Mayuzumi was struggling beneath me, wrestling the axe from her. I raised my arm. Mayuzumi raised her voice at a weird scream. Startled, I immediately faltered. Well, that worked. And as I fell, she stole back the axe from me. Right before my eyes, the sharp glitter of a blade approached. And that's it. Fuck. We did. Alright, that's another one down. Mayuzumi's crazy. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? Right. Okay, we're back. Before we continue with this one, I just realized something as I was scrolling through it for the last 2 hours now. When it does... Okay, it's just a thought about the third personality, right, that we know about. There's 3 personalities. Each one is taking control of the body in turn as it goes around, right? But we never found out who the third personality was. However, when you're doing the space-time transfer thing, the cutscene that shows up every time a space-time transfer comes up, it comes up saying Yukido Satoru, Fuyukawa Kokoro, and Self. Is Self the third personality? And what does that mean? Does it mean me? Is it a fourth wall break? Does it mean player? I don't know, just a thought. Anyway, we're not like you. Actually, this isn't time for an ending anyway. I'll be back to skipping now, but I'm going to click We're Not Like You, and I'll bring you back for the ending. Sorry. Okay, I think I've made the right choices to get a pretty dramatic end here in day 6. I think this is where it kicks off. Hopefully, let's get into it. Kokoro. Yuni groaned weakly. Yuni eagerly raised his arm, which was stiff and covered with wounds to the extent that it looked like it would snap off if I touched it. Kokoro. Was he unable to see? His pupils wouldn't fix on a single point and his hand wandered through the air as if searching for me. His palm pressed against my cheek. I'm right here. Right next to you, Yuni. Kokoro, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing? You haven't done anything wrong, Yuni. The one at fault is me. Me. Tears began to flow from Yuni's right eye. His left eye wouldn't move as though it were frozen in place. A thin film of ice had formed over the surface of that eye. I'm sorry, Kokoro. It looks like I'm not going to make it. Yuni, don't say things like that. Please, I'm begging you. Yuni took a deep breath, as if he'd been coughing violently and continued talking between pauses. I'm glad that I met you, Kokoro. It was probably painful for him to talk as his face was grimacing while he eagerly tried to move his lips. I'm happy too. I'm really happy I met you, Yuni. Don't talk anymore. If you don't stop, Yuni... Ignoring my pleas for him to stop, Yuni continued speaking. You know, I really love you, Kokoro. I really, really love you. Me too. Alright, we became a couple. Trying to force his face to move, Yuni laughed. However, his face immediately became warped with pain. Yuni. Kokoro, I'm sorry that I couldn't save you. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Yuni, no. Thank you for everything until now, Kokoro. This is goodbye. Well, then, bye. Yuni's hand slowly began to lose its strength. Yuni? Yuni! He didn't respond to my cries. Hang on! Hang on! Yuni wasn't moving anymore. Yuni, who was so energetic. Yuni, who was so sweet. Kokoro. I'm gonna protect you, Kokoro. Kokoro? Kokoro. Yuni, who was always laughing, now he was growing cold in my arms. He would never move again. He would never crack jokes or burst out laughing again. Yuni, I'm the one who's sorry. The one who drove Yuni into a corner was me. It was because I ate all of the food. I'm sorry. That's why Yuni is dead. No, that's wrong. In the depths of my despair, I muttered, I killed Yuni. We ate all the food? Man, that's fucked up. I mean, I should know that, but I skipped through most of it. And then I realized all of a sudden that the clinking of Yomogi's lighter had stopped. That's right, if I asked Yomogi, he might know of a way to resuscitate him. I wiped my tears away and got down from the bed. Yomogi-san, it's terrible, Yuni's... Yomogi sat motionless as he gripped the lighter tightly. Yomogi-san, get up! Please get up! I shook Yomogi by the shoulder. Yomogi's body fell lifelessly over. Yomogi-san? His arms and legs were sprawled out and stiff. Timidly, I held my hand in front of his mouth. Yomogi wasn't breathing. This can't be. You're kidding, right? I touched the nape of his neck. It was still faintly warm, but I didn't feel a pulse. I staggered back as if stumbling. Yomogi-san is dead too. I ate the food that Yomogi had entrusted to me as well. That's why all his strength disappeared. I killed Yomogi-san too. I killed him. I shook my head. I couldn't believe the reality in front of me. I grabbed at my frozen hair as I screamed. No, no, I didn't mean to. Even though I shouted, it didn't change the reality of it. In front of my eyes lay the corpses of Yomogi and Yuni. And after snatching away their food, I was still alive and well. Mayuzumi was looking at me from her bed, her face full of fear. Ignoring her, I looked through Yomogi's bag. I'm sure it was in here. Found it. I took out the large knife that Yomogi had used. What do you think you're doing? Mayuzumi asked, her voice shaky with fear. I answered as I unsheathed the knife. Dying. I have to atone for what I did. Because I'm the one that killed them. That doesn't mean you should go as far as killing yourself. It's okay. After all, now that Yomogi-san's gone, we can't survive here anyway. We'll both die sooner or later. So in order to atone for my sins, I'll take my own life. Hold on. Mayuzumi tried to stop me with a commanding tone. Still weeping, I turned the knife in my hand around. Goodbye. As the tip of the sharp blade pierced my throat. Please forgive me, Yomogi-san. I'm sorry, Yuni. I'll be joining you real soon. Man, that was the most fucked up ending yet. Nice. Alright. Alright, we'll break here and I'll find the next one. Alright, we got two new endings right here with these two choices. So we'll start with reach out to Yomogi. I've got to help him. It's all my fault. He fell because he came out here after me. I have to help him. This is while we're going towards location X, you know. I vigorously shook my head to drive away my fear. Crawling up the edge of the fissure, I held out my hand. Yomogi-san, take my hand. Idiot. Hurry and take my hand. To be completely honest, I was scared and my whole body was trembling. If I were to fall, I wouldn't survive. I don't want to die. But nevertheless, I can't abandon Yomogi. We promised. We'll all survive in this and return home together. Please take my hand. He looked up at me with an astonished look on his face. Fuyukawa-san. We'll all survive this and return home together. So you can't die here. Yomogi sighed as if worried. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Straining slightly, Yomogi extended his hand toward me, and I frantically leaned forward as well. Just a few centimeters more. A few centimeters more and I'll reach him. I forced myself to bend further and further forward, just a little. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit and it'll be okay. My fingertip touched his outstretched hand. Okay. Huh? Suddenly, the edge of the cliff collapses. My field of vision spins. I fall. I fall. Slammed against the wall of snow, over and over again. I fall to the bottom of the cliff. And we're dead, and we'll jump back and pick the other choice there, and we'll die a different way, or a similar way. Let's see. Stay still and watch. As Yomogi told me to, I patiently stayed where I was. Even if he'd said help me, my body wouldn't have moved. It's all my fault. My fault that Yomogi-san. My fault. If I hadn't gone to location X, this wouldn't have happened. If only I hadn't selfishly taken any independent action and consulted with the others. I was at my wit's end. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Yomogi was trying to crawl up by himself, skillfully maintaining his balance, digging his feet into the wall of snow he slowly climbed up. After all, it's only a wall of snow. If you can use even a little too much force on it, it wouldn't be unusual for it to all come tumbling down. I couldn't stand to watch anymore. I closed my eyes and kept praying. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. How long did it go on? The fury of the snow and wind increased in intensity, but Yomogi was as reliable as ever. Without hurrying, calmly determining the circumstances he was in, he dealt with the situation extremely carefully. I felt my head being patted and looked up. Yomogi was there, smiling weakly. I've come back from the bottom of hell, he said jokingly. But he was holding his side in pain, and he was dragging one leg too. Yomogi-san, you're injured. I guess it's broken. Broken? Oh no. I'm fine, don't worry. You don't look fine at all. I started to panic again. It's definitely my fault. Yomogi-san is like this. What should I do? First aid. What should I do again? Calm down, Yomogi muttered disinterestedly. But it's fine. calm down. I won't die so easily. Anyway, let's go back to the cabin. I felt so guilty. It's not a problem that crying can fix. No matter how much I regret what I did, Yomogi won't recover from his injuries. Still, I couldn't help but hate myself for this thoughtlessness. I silently let Yomogi my shoulder. I'm sorry. While walking through the snow, I just kept apologizing. Returning to the cabin took twice as long. Yomogi was in no condition to be walking. Even though I was letting him lean on my shoulder, I could hardly put strength in my own feet. It was just pathetic how weak I was. Look, I can see the cabin. Let's go. It's just a little further. The injured Yomogi had encouraged me the whole time. The more he worried about me, the greater my feelings of guilt became. As soon as I entered the cabin, I knelt down on the spot. I can't walk anymore. There was no more power left in my body. The relief of at last being able to come back helped too. And I lost even the energy to stand. Yomogi collapsed face up beside me. He seems to be suffering a fair bit. His injuries look painful. First of all, we have to administer first aid. The essential emergency treatment for broken bones was applying a brace to the fractured area and then immobilizing it, I think. I only vaguely remembered how, but I didn't know what else to do. Uni, bring something we can make into a brace. After that, what can we use for bandages? No answer. Thinking it strange, I looked around the room. Uni? No one was there. Uni wasn't there, and neither was Mayuzumi. Where'd they go? I even crawled on all fours to the entrance of the basement and looked down into it. No one's here after all. Where did they go? The blankets I thought Mayuzumi was using had been carelessly discarded atop the upper bunk. My heart started hammering in my chest. No way. I looked toward the door. No way! They left? They went out in the storm? I frantically rushed over to the beds. I touched the blankets. They were cold. Yomogi-san, how long's it been since you left the cabin? It seemed that Yomogi too had noticed the absence of Uni and Mayuzumi. He looked at me with a serious expression. I went out right after you did. I confirmed the time with my watch. It was now 4 AM. I left the shelter cabin a little past 1 AM. I told them to wait, but around what time was it when the two of them went out? At the least, it seems that no less than 1 hour ago. We must have walked right past each other. No, it can't be. My body shivered, and not just from the cold. My guilt grew and grew. I tightly hugged the plush bear that Uni had left behind. No, it's all my fault. It's all my fault. If only I hadn't gone to Location X, Yomogi would never have been injured, and Uni and Mayuzumi would never be exposed to danger. All my fault. Snap out of it. Don't blame yourself. But it's all my fault. But those two aren't stupid. They'll come back. They definitely will. Just pull yourself together and wait. No. I let go of the plush toy and clung to Yomogi. If they fall from a cornice, if something happens to them in the snowstorm, it'll be my fault. Fuyukawa. I stood up. I can't whine about having no more strength left. Because of me, those two are in danger. They're my responsibility. I have to go and save them. I have to go at once. Calm down. This is just going to result in a tragedy for all of you. But this is my fault. I shook myself free from Yomogi's restraining grip and opened the door. The storm was fierce. I have to help them quickly. Wait, Fuyukawa. Yomogi-san, wait here. With those words, I jumped out into the storm once more. Where did I walk alone? Where was I headed? How much time had passed since I left the shelter? Even that became hazy. Once again, heading for Location X, my field of vision went completely white from the snow. Yet I earnestly kept calling out for Uni and Mayuzumi's names. Uni! Mayuzumi-san! While I called them, inside my heart I kept repeating, it's all my fault, it's all my fault, it's all my fault. I was overwhelmed with guilt. By the time I realized it was daybreak. The pitch dark world had just changed into one of pure white. In despair, I looked up into the white sky. Through the snow that was falling, as if to strike me down, I could see nothing. As I stood there stupefied, my consciousness began to dim. I'd already lost all feeling in my fingers and toes. When I examined them, I saw they were turning purple. Frostbite already. A natural retribution. I bit my lip. Because of me, Yomogi, Uni, and Mayuzumi are all in danger now. I pray. God, please. If my life will do, then take it as you please. So save those three. Except Mayuzumi. That prayer was heard. Unexpectedly, within the white world, a spot of black appeared. I headed toward that black spot. The closer I got, I realized it was a human. It's Mayuzumi's coat. The same one I was wearing. I finally found her. My feelings of guilt eased just a little. At least no one died because of me. Just that thought filled me with relief. Then I shuddered in horror at my own thought. As long as it's not my fault, then there's no problem, even if someone dies. I shook my head to banish that idea from my mind. Mayuzumi-san! Screaming to be heard over the wind, I ran to Mayuzumi. Mayuzumi was squatting in the snow. She wore a hollow expression. Beside her was Yuni, clinging tightly to her. Snow covered both of them, even clinging to their faces. Even if she was looking at me, Mayuzumi showed no reaction at all. Mayuzumi-san, are you alright? My body... Huh? I don't feel cold anymore. On the contrary, it feels kind of good. I gulped. Mayuzumi's body, she definitely wasn't shivering. I recalled Yomogi's words. With hypothermia, the body stops shivering when it becomes serious. If that happens, then you won't be able to do anything with only emergency measures. It can't be. Yuni, is he alright? Who knows? Mayuzumi absent-mindedly stared at the face of Yuni in her arms. Her eyes were shut. His eyes were shut, but his eyelids twitched rapidly. He's still alive. Let's go back to the cabin. But even if I say that, Mayuzumi and Yuni were so debilitated they couldn't walk by themselves, and I don't have enough energy to support both of them. I'm utterly at a loss. We can't even take a single step further. My field of vision went dark and I crumpled where I stood. Before... Huh? A little while before, right there. Mayuzumi's tone was awfully carefree and indifferent, as if she had no emotions. Yomogi-san was... Yomogi-san? He was saying something, but he fell. I turned around, startled. Around 10 meters away from us, Yomogi lay face down. His body was already almost completely buried under the snow. Why is Yomogi here? Even though I told him to wait in the cabin. He ran after me again and found them before I did? Even though he was injured? Why won't anyone listen to me? Though I understood that it was nothing but an outburst of anger, I still couldn't help but feel annoyed. I struck the snow in a rage. Why? Why can't you just wait, Leo, like I told you to? You're all just creating more disaster on top of what we've already got. It's just idiotic. As if I was the one in the wrong here. Don't make it my fault. It became impossible to think about anything. I was just getting more and more irritated. Irritated at how everything was going wrong. Irritated at what I'd caused. Irritated at the fact that even if I wanted somehow to deny my responsibilities, I couldn't come up with any excuses. Irritated at the snow that kept falling mercilessly. Irritated at the rescue team that wouldn't come to help. Irritated at the incomprehensible events I kept getting caught up in. I'm so fed up with it all. Enough. This is just too much. Everyone should just die, including me. We should all just die. It would be so much easier. I mean, you're going to. That wish was granted. My vision blurred. The ground that had been supporting me disappeared. Zero gravity. No, this is an earthquake. An unbelievably huge vibration. It felt almost as if heaven and earth were becoming inverted. I can't stand up. It took everything I had to just cling to the surface of the earth. It was enough to make me wonder if the entire world would break apart, but before long, it settled as if disappearing. The surroundings quietened down as if nothing had happened. Now, to be more accurate, the sound of the snowstorm continued as before, but to me it felt like the other sounds had been swallowed by the earth. In a daze I sat there petrified, and then the time came. I heard the groaning of the earth. Startled, I looked up. The world swayed again. Another earthquake? No, it's not. Something frightening approached us. No way. I looked toward my wristwatch, panicking. Snow covered the dial. Plucking my tongue, I scraped it off. The hands of the watch. 6:53. I wonder why I'm laughing. Right now we're at Location X, the place where we're supposed to die. Eventually, despite having struggled like mad to live, we couldn't defy fate. What is this? Well, whatever. Whatever happens, I don't care. I lay down, spread-eagled on the snow. Thinking back, it was ridiculous to try and fight our fate. It's the avalanche. Run! It's useless, Mayuzumi-san. Our fate has been decided. No one can escape it anymore. Yuni! Even if only you! Like I said, it's useless. Even if you struggle, God just will have a good laugh and then kill us like insects. Run! Let's accept that fate as it is. Let's sleep eternally. Over there, it'll undoubtedly be a much warmer, peaceful place than this mountain. Humans have such tiny existence, so that's enough. I have no regrets over losing such a tiny life. I closed my eyes. It was a strange, calm feeling. As I thought about how I would finally be released from all the suffering, I started laughing and couldn't stop. Goodbye, life. Goodbye, world. Goodbye, me. There's another one. All right. I'm gonna go see if I can find another one. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I think this is the next one. I'm going to make this the last one for this. I don't know how many episodes this is going to be. For now, I'm going to record all of... I'm not doing all of them, but I'm going to do all of Kokoro's ones in one go, and then I'll do all of Satoru's ones in another one. And by all, I mean most. There's some little ones here and there, but they don't seem as important. These are the big ones that take a lot to get to, so I feel like they're much more important to cover. Anyway, I was back at the shelter cabin before I realized it, but no one was there. Yomogi, Mayuzumi, and even Lin. I couldn't find the slightest trace of anyone. It was only I who existed. And that wasn't the only thing strange. Amazingly, even the signs that we'd ever been here had vanished. The tables, chairs, and shelves which Yomogi had destroyed to use for firewood had gone back to the way they were. As if they'd never been touched. The supplies and firewood used these past 4 days had been restored as well. I wandered unsteadily through the cabin. Interesting. On the table was a newspaper dated July 4th, 2011. The headline, 3 decomposed male and female corpses found on Mount Akakura, had disappeared from it. I don't understand. I don't understand anything anymore. Have I just been dreaming this whole time? A nightmare without end? I heard the sound of the blizzard. A stabbing pain dragged me back to reality. Here. Where is it? Something dark, round and cylindrical covered everything around me. That, and it was filled with a strange smell. Because of that awful smell, I could feel something welling up from the pit of my stomach. I could hear the rumbling of the storm on the other side of the cylindrical walls. I wore a jacket, a leather coat, a wool sweater, a scarf and gloves, so many layers of clothing. But I still felt the cold in the marrow of my bones, and yet for some reason I wasn't shivering. Slowly, gradually, my entire body lost all feeling. Through my weakening consciousness, I realized it, that I'd returned to that day. Kagame, Kagame. The song I suddenly began to chant. I felt it. Behind me was the shadow of the existence that had beckoned us into the situation. In the evening, lit by the dawn. It had neither volume nor mass. A point. A hollow nothingness. Who's that? Behind you. And then the nothingness swallowed me. Whoa, that one was crazy. I don't understand that at all, but that was crazy. Alright, not too many of Kokoro's ones really revealed much more in the way of like context for how it all played out in the end. I feel like Satoru's one's definitely going to do that more. But they were still worth getting, I think. Just to see how crazy it could have played out, I suppose. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this one up here. I'm not sure if this will be 1, 2, however many episodes. I've been recording for 2.25 hours, but obviously I'm gonna cut it down dramatically, so we shall see. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one for Satoru's ones, which hopefully will give us a bit more info. Till then, thanks for watching, Bruce.